Today we are with Daoud Manarius. Daoud Manarius is one of our good friends and our good guides here, and he's going to explain to us about the Garden of the Gethsemane. Please tell us when this church was built and where it was mentioned in the Bible about the Gethsemane and why Jesus came here to pray, and about all the information that we have here.
Garden of Gethsemane, first of all, means the press of oil. And it came from the Hebrew Aramaic term gat shmanim. Gat means press, shmanim oil, the press of oil. Literally, under us, near Virgin Mary's tomb, they found the press of oil that the whole garden was named after. It's the place that first was mentioned in the Bible, Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1 to 8. Isaiah 700 years before what happened over here with the Lord Jesus Christ, through his prophecy and prophetegories, spoke about it. He spoke about the man, the only man, the lonely man who will cross the press alone, his hands full of blood. As well, before that, Genesis 49 spoke about the Lord crossing the press alone. Now simply it's the place where Jesus used to come and rest. At the footsteps of Mount of Olives, every one of the disciples went home and Jesus came to the Garden of Gethsemane. This is the place where the Lord had his last prayer before he was crucified, buried, and resurrected. Over here in this garden, he felt lonely, alone, to fulfill the prophecies. At the rock inside, he started praying, and his holy perspiration became like a drops of blood, which means that he was squeezed from the sorrow. Why? What is behind the garden? Simply because Adam himself was thrown out from a garden. So second Adam, he is redeeming first Adam from a garden. If the whole story started in a garden, so the whole story should end within a garden. That's why he had associated himself over here. It's the place where he asked from his disciples, only 1 hour. You could not stay with me 1 hour. It's the place where he gave an order for a prayer. Usually he used to say, who have ears to listen, let him listen. But here he stands and he used the term sallu, means stand, wake, and pray. All these events happened over here. It's the place where he was betrayed by his own disciple Judas, who have sold him with 30 pieces of silver, fulfilling the prophecy of Zechariah chapter 11. It's a fulfillment for the prophecy that happened over here. How they've kissed each other.
Please tell me why a kiss? Why he have to kiss Jesus?
Simply because not all the soldiers knew who's Jesus. Second, Judas had to attend the arresting of the Lord. Why? Because he's untrustable by the high priest. You say he's at the Garden of Gethsemane? Come and show me. Third, he became a witness against him in the garden as well by kissing him. And we have to identify what type of kiss he gave him. According to the culture during the time of Jesus, a kiss from a man to a man, it's a sign of trust, love, and loyalty. So Judas over here in the garden, instead of protecting Jesus, he's giving Jesus to the people that they will give him to the Romans. So instead of the protection, he's betrayed him. He's giving him to the people that they will crucify him, to the Romans. So simply, this is why a kiss. And this is why Jesus looked at Judas' eyes, telling him, with a kiss. You are surrounding me with a kiss. So he's going more extremist into the subject.
Daoud, please, let's talk about the history of the church. When it was built, the first church here?
Well, this area have been used by the early church since the beginnings. So it was well kept and preserved. But there was no church up till 380. Theodosius the Great, the Byzantine emperor, started a church over here that was known under the name of Agony. During the Byzantine period, this was the beginning of the Via Dolorosa, way of the cross, as it was described by Egeria, especially during the time of Cyril of Jerusalem. We're talking here 388 when it started. But Egeria, the pilgrim, reported about what used to happen over here. The church was destroyed 614 by the Parthians. Then it was recovered again, 630. 749, the church was totally demolished, but never it was recovered again. That's why it was not destroyed by Al-Hakim like the other churches, because it did not exist. As far as we know, during the 9th century, there was a Christian community around the area praying, meditating, worshipping, but there were no church. When the Crusades came, they've had a church upon the foundation of the ancient Byzantine church that was over here. That church was demolished 1262 by Berbers. Then the whole area were abandoned up till 1681, when a Croatian bishop donated the garden for the Franciscans. No church, no chapel, a Christian Franciscan existence up till 1920. From 1920 till 1924, Antonio Parluzzi built this magnificent church that we saw. Simply the church based above the ancient Byzantine church, and inside we can see part of the mosaics that goes back to the Byzantine period, same line, same size. The altar itself, part of it goes back to the Byzantines, part of it goes back to the Crusades.
Daoud, please explain to us why the church is so dark. Why the darkness inside?
Because Jesus said, it's the hour of darkness and the authority of death. As well, the sadness that is inside, it's a reflection for the moments that Jesus went through in the garden. This is the place where he said, my soul is sorrowful till the point of death. So it should be sad as well, dark as much as from inside as much as they can, because it's a reflection for what was happening with the Lord over here. We saw the purple color around the windows to show us the royalty of the Lord and the place, because it's the color of sadness and royalty. That's why we have the alabaster as well, windows, to keep the light away from the church.